For more on the state funeral of Queen Elizabeth and day's activities, I'm joined live from London by correspondent Henry Ridgwell. Henry, tell us about the day's activities and who will be attending the Queen's private burial.
Well, we've seen the full power, really, of the British state and the pomp and ceremony that it's famous for today. The Queen's coffin was taken from Westminster Hall, that 1,000-year-old building in the parliamentary estate. It was taken on gun carriage to Westminster Abbey for the funeral service, and following behind, led by King Charles III and the Queen's other three children, followed by Prince Harry and Prince William, and indeed Prince William's two children, Prince George and Princess Charlotte, his two eldest children. So the succession of the line to the throne on full public display at a time of deep emotional pain for the royal family. The service itself lasted 1 hour. It was attended by over 100 presidents and 20 monarchs from across the world. One British government figure likened it to staging 100 simultaneous state visits. Such was the logistical challenge of getting all of these members of the congregation in place safely for today's service. The coffin was then taken after the service, again by gun carriage, through the streets of London, lined by tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of people, many of whom threw flowers at the coffin as it passed by. It was transferred into the state hearse just in West London, and then took the 20-mile journey west to Windsor Castle, of course one of the great royal castles of Britain and one of the Queen's favourite residences, and where many members of the royal family are laid to rest. And in the last hour we have seen the committal service in St George's Chapel in Windsor, and it was there, of course, where the Queen's late husband, Prince Philip, was laid to rest just a year ago. We saw those harrowing pictures of the Queen mourning alone. It was the height of the coronavirus pandemic. Thankfully today there was a full congregation present, mainly members of the royal household, past and present, her staff, whom she got to know very well, of course, over the years in residence at her palaces. There were prime ministers of the realms as well. She is head of state, or she was head of state in 14 other countries apart from Britain, so the prime ministers of those countries, the governors general of overseas territories. And then we had those profound pictures of the Queen's coffin being lowered into the vault below St George's Chapel. This evening, the private burial ceremony will be held, just involving members of the royal family, at about 7:30 p.m. local time in Windsor.
Right, Henry. I think we'll have to leave it there for today. Thank you so much, Henry Ridgwell, reporting live for us from London.